Hello, my name is Erich Schoeman. Welcome to Matters of the Soul. I am in program 2 here on conflict management. This is practical conflict management. You know, this series is applicable to not just couples, but to business, family relationships, and all walks of life. Last time we said that conflict is something that is best dealt with when you are settled and secured in yourself, and that mostly comes from your relationship with God. Now, when you feel loved and in your relationship with the Father, you are secured and grounded, that will lead to a place where you're open to the inputs of the Holy Spirit, and you will receive love from Him. And then you will rather go into a conflict with love rather than fighting for your rights. But I want to share a number of pointers with you on how to have conflict with people. Because when we're in conflict, we tend to be very emotional, upset, and offended, and that easily leads us astray. Conflict can be like a washing machine cycle. You've experienced it, tumbling in circles, thrown to and fro because of all the intense emotion, anger, and fighting. And to avoid all of that, we have to start with the following. Start gently and listen intently. So how you start will determine the course and that you take and the destination that you will end up at. If you want to go to Johannesburg, but you are in Cape Town and you head for Durban, then you're most likely not going to get to Joburg. So you have to start off in a calm voice, listen, have an attitude of love, body language of calmness, avoid blaming, shaming, and naming. And try not to make them feel guilty and stick all kinds of labels on them. That is like, you're stupid or you're a narcissistic bully. Make sure your tone of voice and body language displays the love and kindness. Try not to whine and complain, but try to show that respect. No matter how at fault you think your partner is, if you're going to approach them with accusations and criticism, it'll only elicit the same reaction. They'll think of ways to defend themselves and return the blame to you. You'll end up with an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth approach. So secondly, what do? You describe your dilemma instead of blaming. So Dr. Cloud and Townsend, they wrote a good book, How to Have That Difficult Conversation. They give you a nice formula for how to say what you feel. When you did A, it made me feel B. Would you rather do C, since it would make me feel D? I've added the last bit. I know some couples are at a difficult place where conflict is escalated, and it's not easy to do this, especially if you're sitting with a lot of hurt. But talking this way gives you the best chance of being heard and to resolve the issue. Certainly when you're in a place of attack and war, you will need a facilitator to guide you. But for a general guideline, blaming doesn't work. It's just likely to cause more anger. You can also, in describing, try to explain why it is important to you that your partner do something different and what it would mean to you. Try to stick to what you've observed them do as well. Try not to go into their character and judge them and belittle who they are. Okay, what is the third thing? Stay calm. It'll be worth it if you can keep yourself in check and calm throughout the discussion. You cannot resolve conflict if you are angry, and you'll easily become aggressive. Prepare with prayer and think through what you will say and how you will say it, and try to keep your focus, because otherwise you will lose your focus in this difficult conversation. If you want to take a truck and drive it over a narrow bridge, you will have to concentrate and prepare and be careful as you navigate through. And it's similarly here. So another way of putting it is avoid talking through your emotion, but rather talk about your emotion. Number 4, show politeness and courtesy. The thank yous and pleases. I'll appreciate it if you could do this. It'll mean a lot to me if that. Now, some people say, but my partner doesn't listen then, but at least it gives you the best chance to be heard. Number 5, point out their successes and how it's made you feel. If you catch them doing something good, it will just lift their spirits as well, and explain to them why that has made you feel loved. This approach will keep the atmosphere warm and understanding, and at least build that emotional connection through that difficult conversation. It'll be vital that you protect the trust and safety whilst you are having conflict. You can't just barge in and explode. Number 6, stick to one conversation point at a time. What we tend to do is we accumulate incidences and feelings, and then suddenly we snap and explode. But this just causes hurt and upset feelings. And, I tend to run away when people throw hand grenades at me. It's what I do. Instead, if we discuss problems regularly, we'll notice a pattern, and we might escalate because it's a third or fourth time that we discuss this, but at least it's not surprising our partner with a sudden explosion. Now, some spouses defend themselves so vehemently, or they avoid conflict, that it's difficult to discuss issues regularly. They might react with silence, or is it again? Is it the same old story again? Or did I do something wrong again? Or it's always me. I know they can be difficult, but the general principle is rather discuss things sooner than later. It should lessen how much you have to discuss and how the intensity is with one. Now, number 7 would be listen more than you talk. Explain what you hear them say and take ownership when you've messed up. You should always start a conversation with an empathic understanding. Say things like, when I listen to you, I can hear you say this. I can understand that it might be difficult to go through this. It's difficult when your partner doesn't reciprocate or they don't listen to you, but at least if you are listening and not just justifying, it makes it better. So go and make this a prayer. Lord, help me to speak the truth in love. Next time, we'll also have a look at different conflict styles that people have. Please check us out on all of the socials. We're even on TikTok. Like, subscribe, click the bell, and share with others so that we can bless them too. Goodbye.